Hello and welcome to today's episode of CreditChat Live. My name is Christina Roman and I'm the Consumer Education and Advocacy Manager for Experian, and I'm joined by Rod Griffin, Experian Senior Director of Consumer Education and Advocacy. Now today's episode might look a little bit different because normally Rod and I are behind screens. Rod is based out of Texas, I'm based out of California, but this is one of those unique opportunities where we get to be together because we are at the National Educator Conference, which is hosted by the Jumpstart Coalition, and we are in Boston, Massachusetts. So we have a little bit of an interesting episode for you today. Normally we talk about a topic that we discussed in our credit chat, which takes place every Wednesday on X. But we wanted to take advantage of this opportunity. We have, I believe, 400 teachers, right, Rod? Almost 400 teachers.
350 to 400, yeah.
Yep, that are here at this year's conference. And it's a financial literacy conference. It brings together teachers that specialize in financial literacy. And we're thrilled to be joined today by LaKeisha Ivy, who is a school counselor at the Okolona School District from Okolona, Mississippi. And we are going to talk to LaKeisha about the important work that she's doing teaching financial literacy, specifically to elementary students, which I think is really important because we talked to Laura Levine, who is the president of Jumpstart, and she shared that we need to start getting started teaching this education younger because in high school, you never know if you're getting quite the reach that you would like to have. But by starting younger, then students can kind of format their habits earlier and really begin to adopt them at the time that they're most likely going to adopt them. So thank you so much for joining us, LaKeisha.
Happy to be here.
I want to start by just getting a little bit of background on you. How long have you been with the Jumpstart Coalition? And you are also an ambassador this year. So what does it mean for you to be an ambassador for the Jumpstart Coalition?
Yes, I have been attending the Jumpstart Conference for the last 5 years. I was chosen as an ambassador at last year's conference. So it's been a very rewarding experience so far. It's an honor to represent Mississippi. And I enjoy coming to these conferences to learn more about financial education for students.
Now, what got you started in financial literacy, financial education for your school district?
Well, for about 10 years, I did work for the high school level as a school counselor, and I was always talking with students about financial education, financial aid, preparing for life after high school. So when I moved over to the elementary school, I was able to bring some of those experiences with me. And just like you said, to start early, teaching students early on about the importance of making good financial decisions.
Go ahead, Rod.
I was just kind of thinking about when you think about working with high school students and then elementary students, and do you, as a counselor, do you hear from the students about maybe the relationships they have with their families, with their parents or their grandparents? Do they share that information with their families as well as they learn? Does it go beyond just the student?
Oh, yes, it does. Even at the elementary level, we did a lesson on savings, and one of my students talked to me about how they told their younger sibling about saving their allowance or their money for something that they really wanted. So it does extend beyond the classroom.
Now, how do you introduce those concepts like saving, spending, and sharing in ways that students can thrive in those classes at the elementary level?
Well, at the elementary, I keep it fun and engaging for them, relatable. We use a PBIS system where we use Chieftain Bucks, where students can earn bucks based on positive behavior. So that has been beneficial to us at my elementary school far as reducing behaviors, but it also teaches students about making positive choices when it comes to finances. They can learn how to save their Chieftain Bucks to purchase things that they really want. So I think it's preparing them for the future as an adult. We have to save our money for things that we want. So it's been a very rewarding system incorporating that Chieftain Bucks system where students earn the bucks by showing good behavior.
Yeah, my son, he's 5, or he actually just turned 6, but he tells me whenever he earns a coin that he can add to I guess there's like a box that he keeps it in. And then at the end of the month, he can go to a box that the teacher has and purchase things that he wants. And usually it's like a finger puppet thing that he'll bring home, something random. But he's very proud of the fact that he earned the money to then go and purchase from this box due to his behavior in the classroom. So I can see how those bucks could work to help students really want to do better so that they could buy things with it.
And we have an actual store where students can buy small prizes, big prizes, snacks, all kind of things, school supplies. And it's funny sometimes when students know they may need a school supply, so they have to decide, do I want the candy or do I buy some pencils or something?
So that's a need versus a want lesson right there.
Mhm.
I love that. And who manages the store that you have?
I do, along with some more teachers. We all work it together.
I had a granddaughter, kind of the same thing. It was so funny. She came over to our house one day, and it was when she was 7, 8, and had just had her first couple days of school. And she looked at me. She said, "They're making me pay rent for my desk." And I went, "What does that mean?" It's like, huh? She said, "Well, we got this thing, and we have to save." And she was very upset because she wanted to do something else with that money she was going to earn. Do you see that with the kids? Do you see them sort of grapple with the issues? And how do you introduce those concepts to them as at the very beginning?
Yes, at the beginning of the school year, I do classroom visits where I teach lessons about positive behavior. Then I introduce the concept of our PBIS and our reward system that goes along with it. So every student is aware of the Chieftain Bucks system that we use. The Chieftains is our school's mascot, so that's why we call them Chieftain Bucks. The teachers, they are the ones who issue out the books to the students. So they know the expectations. We have posters and signs all around the school reminding students of these behaviors that they need to display in order to earn the Chieftain Bucks.
Mm-hmm. No, you said it's PBIS, right?
Yes.
So for someone who's not familiar, what does PBIS stand for?
It stands for Positive Behavior Interventions and Support.
Wonderful.
So that's a system that I think a lot of school districts have adopted.
I think it's interesting that, tying personal finance to personal behavior too, and decision making at a young age. Do the kids make that connection, or does it, meaning, if it's some really sharp kids who would say, "You're just trying to make me do this, so I'll do that." I think it's very interesting that you can change behavior sort of voluntarily by giving them choices.
Right. And they understand it because not only do we have the Chieftain store, we have different events and celebrations all school year long. And if you're not displaying those positive behavior, you get to miss out on a lot of fun activities. And kids, they love to have fun.
Yeah.
They love going on field trips. And if we know that you have not shown those positive behaviors, you will not get to attend these special events. And so it goes kind of beyond earning the books as well, but they have really grasped that concept of what it means to make positive choices, not, with their financial decisions, as well as just, overall behaviors.
So I'm happy to say that Mississippi has been ahead of many states in requiring high school financial literacy. So how do you see your work at the elementary level kind of preparing students to thrive in those classes later in life?
I feel like the earlier that it's introduced to students, it's setting that foundation for lifelong learning about financial education. I know at the high school level, we do require that students take a college and career readiness course. And it's a lot of financial education embedded into that course. So it's really just preparing students at a younger age, just introducing them to financial education. So when they become adults, they already know it's some choices behind the decisions that you make when it comes to your finances. So we're just preparing them at a younger age because when they get to the high school level, they have to take those courses.
How long have you been implementing the program at the elementary school level? Are you seeing, or has there been enough time yet to see how the things that they learn in elementary school carry over to high school and then potentially to adults? Has it been long enough, or?
Well, I've been at the elementary school for 2 years now. So I have seen some of our students go over to the middle school and high school level. And I can say they have shown great behaviors because we've had some really great feedback from the teachers over there that our students are really great coming from the elementary school. So I think that reward system is one of the reasons why they continue to display those.
So personal
Yeah.
finance leads to even better kind of decision making and behavior as the students get older too.
Yes.
So the theme of the National Educator Conference is Together We Shine. So can you share how Jumpstart or this event in particular has helped you to collaborate and grow as an educator, or even a counselor?
Yes, I get to meet a wide variety of teachers from across the country and to network with those people. We all share the same goal, of helping students on their financial journeys. And it's been a very rewarding experience for me to attend these conferences. And to whenever I attend, I always come back with some new ideas to share with my students and my fellow teachers. So it's been a really great experience for me.
I think you just hit on another important point about what this conference is about and why, Experian, actually a grant from Experian started it 16 years ago, in 2009. Here's my math skills going failing. But it's one of the things we talked about is, there are only so many teachers who can attend, but that doesn't mean it stops here. So you said you share it with other teachers. How do you do that? Or is there a formal process, or do you work with them? And how do you see that expanding beyond what you learn here? How does that get passed on?
Right. So I've came back to my school district with a lot of valuable resources, free resources, online things that teachers can use within their classrooms. And I just find the websites, I forward it on to the teachers. It's as simple as that. I have had to present like little demonstrations when I return to my school district on what I've learned in the conference. So I passed out all kind of goodies. I always come back home with a lot of free resources, and the teachers, they love it. They all wish they can come.
Yeah.
So I encourage them to apply. You never know, you may get selected. So, but I've had a lot of great information to share with my teachers over the years, and they really enjoy it. And they're always asking me, do I have any resources or information that I can share with them? And I'm always glad that Jumpstart has provided me with so much great information that I can share with fellow teachers.
Yeah, I think you touched on something there that we should expand on as well, because Laura mentioned it earlier in an interview that we did with her. But the teachers that get to come to this conference are here on scholarship. So not only do you get to come on scholarship, but then you have access to so many resources that maybe you've never heard of before, but that were created to help you to better educate your students or more easily educate your students. So that is another really unique aspect of this conference. It is meant to be a conference that enables you to have access to these as easily as possible.
Right, it does. It really does. It's a great opportunity for teachers to attend.
I would love to know, LaKeisha, what is your personal vision for the future of financial literacy, and how can early financial education help kind of close the gap and make your students feel more confident when managing their finances?
My vision for the future of financial education is just to be a part of our students' journey, to help them learn and grow as they become young adults about making smart financial decisions, because a lot of students are not exposed to financial education. So I think the younger they are exposed, the better it is as they become adults and making good financial choices. It could possibly help decrease poverty levels in families and just improve the communities overall, because where I come from, it is a very poverty stricken area. So a lot of my students don't have the resources needed financially, to do things that they want to do. But if we expose them to financial education at an early age, they become more equipped as adults to just make better decisions in life and hopefully break that generation pattern of coming from families where, you have to struggle financially, but just helping them to become better adults in life.
To changing that relationship with money starting at a really young age
Yes.
can help carry through to generations. I mean,
Right.
that really is an important thing to think about, because I think it's true for a lot of our families. My family didn't, if there wasn't really talking about money, there was arguing about money,
Right.
but there wasn't always a very positive relationship with money.
It
And
was, well, I
So-
can relate to that as well because
Yeah.
I come from a huge family.
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of find out on my own about financial education because I didn't learn about it at an early age. So these students they really have the opportunity to learn these things at a young age. So they can take with them when they get ready to go to college or start a job. They are aware of the different avenues they can take as far as with their financial success in life.
Yeah, I think when we talk about we talk primarily about credit and we do credit education, but when we talk, there's often preconceived notions about credit and what it is, and that it's debt or that it's something bad, and we have to kind of reframe that it's a tool. And you're teaching these students young that money is it's a tool that they can use, and it's up to them to determine whether they're going to use it for good or if there are going to be repercussions for how they behave, especially when it comes to money. So I love that you're doing this, and I love that you're bringing this education to a younger audience, so that way they can grow with it and they can expand their knowledge as they get older. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and thank you for joining our podcast today and sharing your perspective. I was really excited when I saw that you are an elementary teacher, or you work in an elementary school. You're a counselor, but that you're working in an elementary school, because I think that's a really unique perspective to financial literacy that we don't often talk about. We talk about it at high school because we know that students are going to start using money very actively, or they're going to apply for student loans, or maybe they'll think about becoming an authorized user on a credit card, or working with credit in some capacity. But getting started so early really makes a difference for students.
Thank you for having me.
great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Credit Chat Live. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. We hope that you'll look for ways that you can support Jumpstart in their mission to spread financial literacy and also to serve these really important teachers that are out there providing financial education for their students across all ages. Definitely look for us on X, where we host our Credit Chat weekly. We host it on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we cover a wide variety of financial topics. You'll also see other Credit Chat Live videos, and they tend to expand on those conversations. So we hope that you will learn something from those as well. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for tuning in.